firefighters from you?
Again, my name is Billy Hayes. I'm the fire chief. First, I want to say this is a sad day in the city of Riverdale. Not only do we never want to see property lost, but fatalities, human life is the worst. And I want to take the opportunity to publicly thank Clayton County Fire Department, as well as a host of other agencies. We did have to activate the Georgia Mutual Aid Group to assist, as this fire did go to multiple alarms. So we do have units from other jurisdictions assisting and covering in this area. The status of our firefighters, we did have 2 firefighters that were transported to Southern Regional Medical Center. One was transported with minor burn injuries. Those were sustained on a flashover apparently on the initial attempt to make entry into one of the apartments. Minor burns to the hand. Second, heat exhaustion. I do want to note that the crews, both Riverdale and fire, as Chief Cohilas said, have done an outstanding job. As you know, it's very hot out here. They are going through a lot. There are physical conditions, and that is certainly the reason why Chief Cohilas and myself believe in health and wellness and physical fitness, because this is taxing our employees right now.
Chief, was it a police officer who first called in? That nobody from inside that motel called and said, hey, this place is on fire?
I do not have that. I know Chief Cohilas may have that.
The original call came from an off-duty Clayton County Police Department police officer who was traveling by. His initial report was that he saw flames through the roof. He called Clayton County, called dispatch. Call went into Riverdale City 911 Center. Their units were dispatched at 7:38 this morning. After they arrived, they immediately called for help from Clayton County Fire. Our dispatch received a request for mutual aid at 7:46.
But what do you understand?
We got subsequent calls later on. I've heard reports that subsequent calls later on came from various rooms, but the initial report, and answer your question, initial report came from an off-duty police officer passing by.
Did the 3 injured civilians have burns?
Yes, varying degrees. I cannot comment on the condition or the severity of those burns.
And Chief Hayes, could you address the inspection of that hotel?
We are looking into that. Actually, we do perform annual inspections. This is one of our target areas. We're looking into that to validate whether the smoke alarms did or did not work. Obviously, there's always going to be early reports of this and that in the early stages of it, but we will look into that and we'll let you know in the next briefing.
Any obvious code violations you can see just looking at it?
Not right now, we can't.
Let me add a couple thoughts to what Chief Hayes just answered. First and foremost, fire departments traditionally, and Riverdale Fire Service along with Clayton County Fire Department, conduct an annual inspection. But it is incumbent upon property owners to maintain their fire protection systems and make sure that they are in good working order at all times. Also, with regard to fire protection systems built into this building, this building right here validates why fire chiefs across the country are so emphatic in insisting on tougher sprinkler codes. Frankly, this building was built prior to sprinkler ordinances being passed in Clayton County and Riverdale many years ago. And I know that Chief Hayes shares my passion for fire protection and fire safety, and that is why we go toe-to-toe with developers and builders on a monthly basis when we seek to toughen our sprinkler ordinances, and that is not an effort that we will ever back off from, because when you don't have tough enough protection systems built into buildings, this is what happens.
There was no sprinkler in there?
There was limited sprinklers only in the corridor and not in the actual living units.
What is the sprinkler ordinance now? If it were new, what would it have to have?
You would have sprinkler heads in each and every room and hallway and hidden access spaces anywhere where mechanical equipment is contained. All that. It would have been subject to a very intense plan review prior to being built.
Smoke alarms, you're not sure on?
We don't have any. That will have to go through the normal investigation process where we will determine whether or not any of those systems work.
You have any, at the most, how many firefighters have you all?
I would say we had a total of about 50. Clayton County struck 3 alarms. So if you count Riverdale, that's a 4 alarm. And as Chief Hayes alluded to, we triggered our mutual aid contracts to get, we had other agencies come in and backfill Riverdale fire stations, and Clayton County got assistance also to backfill some of our stations through the Georgia Mutual Aid Program.